Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, welcome into a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, just like we always are here on the show. Remember to hit that like button, share button, comment button. If you don't mind, we'll be here with you until 9 a.m. this morning as we will talk NFL awards last night where LSU was all over the place. It's congratulations to Justin Jefferson for taking home the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. We'll talk about Jets and that accomplishment, first to do it since Burt Jones did it in the early 70s from LSU. The only 2 LSU players to take home that award. Jefferson enters a pretty selective class after last night's NFL awards ceremony. We will talk all about that. It is close to Super Bowl Sunday, so we're breaking out the prop bets. We're breaking out the bets. We're going to play a little bit here and get you ready for Super Sunday coming up here. Just when you thought Brett Favre couldn't be any dumber. I mean,
did you think he couldn't be dumber?
I did not think he could be this dumb. Brett Favre is suing Pat McAfee, Shannon Sharp, and the Mississippi welfare lawyers and auditors claiming defamation of character. And this is my favorite quote from the lawsuit. Mr. Favre has called Auditor White and his team liars despite repaying some of the money to the office demanded from him. He's also claimed the auditors are liars despite clear documentary evidence showing that he benefited from misspent funds in the state of Mississippi. I don't know what's going on with Brett Favre. I don't know how he doesn't have legal counsel around him. It's close enough saying, yo, Brett, pull the lawsuit.
Back it out. Come here,
stop,
Brett.
man.
Step
Stop
into the
this.
office.
Like, what is happening?
But this is unbelievable. We'll talk a little bit more about that. It looks like Derek Carr is going to be a Saint.
Woohoo!
You heard it here first on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Katie
Compliments.
dropping news.
Right? Breaking
Katie
news. Derek and I
Allagain.
are tight.
Did you sell him
I do
his
his
eyeliner?
What's the pink theme today?
I have a Galentine's lunch today,
A Galentine's.
which David was like, why are
That
you
sounds
wearing
pretty
that?
boozy.
It
Yeah.
does. And I was like, I have a Galentine's lunch. And he's like, what the hell is that? I was like, Galentine's.
Yeah.
He said, I've never heard of it.
What's the deal with
Have
that?
y'all never heard?
I've never heard of it.
I have.
Are y'all serious?
I've never heard
It's
of it.
like
Okay,
all
you're gonna
girls
see it all the time
Valentine.
now.
It's what?
It's like an all girls Valentine.
Galentine's.
It's basically like
Like
you know,
the gals.
yeah.
Oh,
It's kind of
Right?
weird.
brutal.
So I'm going to Eliza. They host this lunch, and it's fun. It's cute. Just a little friend group.
Yeah.
You know.
Sounds
pint.
like booze
I think
and
the
just
last
Yeah, it
time,
is.
so I get my hair cut in that same shopping center.
Yeah.
And I believe the last time, or one of the last times that I got my hair cut, y'all were doing some type of like,
Halloween lunch. Because we had a witch's
where
lunch.
y'all wore like costumes.
Yeah,
and
witches.
hats.
Yeah, we had a witch's lunch there. We did that. It was so
And I
fun.
was like,
you were over there
"Look
then?
at this circus. Walking
Eliza
through
is
the
great.
parking lot is.
They
It's
do
great.
the
It's
cutest like themed stuff like that. I mean, it attracts the ladies. I mean, there won't probably be any men in there today. But
Galentine's. I
I
don't
might
know.
be
You're
there.
giving a good promotion. They might be.
Yeah.
They might
that's
be
true.
right at the
hanging out
slide
Good
today.
spot.
I'm here for the Galentine's lunch.
Yes.
here with the boys.
Yeah, right. Anybody like massages? All right, LSU baseball a week from today. LSU softball today. Speaking of softball, some news that we'll talk a little bit about. Oklahoma and Texas. This was something that broke yesterday. I can't imagine that Coach Beth Torina is too fired up about this. Oklahoma, the monster of the softball world, even though they're on the regular season schedule this year at LSU, they come in like on a Tuesday night to Baton Rouge. Oklahoma does. I mean, that is going to be a hot ticket, man.
That'll be fun.
Yes.
But Oklahoma and Texas have reached an agreement with the Big 12 to allow them to leave the conference early and join the Southeastern Conference following this athletic year. So they will be a part of the conference a year earlier than expected. Oklahoma and Texas have agreed in principle to pay the Big 12 a total of $100 million, which I know is a lot of money, but to Texas specifically, and Texas and Oklahoma out of the Big 12, that's chump change.
They will pay a combined $100 million,
Right.
Texas and Oklahoma,
Right.
to exit the conference.
Right.
Isn't
I mean,
that
that's
wild?
chump change.
So we'll get to see
mean-
Archibald.
They could probably pay that in cash.
Yeah. And it's a weird, 2023 will be the last time Oklahoma and Texas play in the Big 12.
Yep.
The last time CBS broadcasts SEC games. And the last time the college football playoff will have 4 teams.
Well, and look, that's why this shift is happening,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is because of that television deal being expired and new TV money coming in. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think we're about to see major shifts in collegiate sports.
Yeah.
My opinion of this whole thing is that you're going to end up with 2 super conferences. I think it's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC, and I think they're going to stack as many teams as they can. Inside of that, I think that the playoff is going to continue to expand, and you're going to have NFL-type schedules every single weekend in college football, where there's going to be no room for, any of the lower tier games, the games where schools are paying other schools to show up, right? I mean, every single weekend in the NFL, as a viewer, you think you're getting a heavyweight fight. And 8 out of 10 Sundays, you usually do. And that's what the SEC, what the Big 12, what the Big 10 is trending towards, because of just the amount of money that is pouring in to those sports, to football specifically. I believe that football will live on its own island from athletic departments. I think that it will be managed. I think it will be run separately than the rest of the organization, just because it's a different tax bracket. I mean, it's a totally different game of business that's going to be done. So,
And they've got a big hurdle figuring out how to organize
Yeah, they do.
16 teams,
Yes.
a
Yeah, they do.
16-team
They do.
schedule.
They do.
But
Good
if
problem,
you're,
though.
A
Good
good problem. And if
Good
you're
problem.
an SEC fan, how fun is it? Like,
Oh my
you're going to
God.
go to Austin.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
got,
You
like,
get
new
the-
places to visit, new rival, or, like,
Yep.
I guess rivalries back intact. Like,
you
I
get
think
the
it's
Texas
cool.
A&M Texas rivalry back.
Yeah.
Absolutely, kick that back up. I think also some of the things that you get to do in the other sports.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously football is going to be the headline here, but I think that it's going to. And look, I expect more teams.
Yeah.
I would expect like Florida State, Miami, Clemson.
Yeah.
And I expect all those teams at
Have
some
to.
point to jump into this. Notre Dame. I think Notre
Yeah.
Dame's probably the biggest fish out there that both of these conferences would like to secure, just because of the amount of television sets that they bring with them. I mean, this is a media war now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this has turned into. And it is a huge spending spree for college football. I mean, there's going to be, just gobs and gobs of money that are going to be on the table for these conferences. So they're
But
going to play as
every
much
team-
football, and they're going to tell you in the public that we want to protect, and you want to keep them healthy, and you don't want to stress their body. But behind closed doors, they're saying, how much can we squeeze out of them?
Can we get 15 weeks out of?
How many games can we
Yeah.
play? How many playoff games can we play?
So if each team is playing 3 permanent opponents, or do those stay the same each
Yes.
year, those permanent opponents?
I think LSU.
You're talking
will
about
keep
like an
Florida.
SEC schedule?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that would be like the pod system.
Uh-huh.
I think, I don't know. They haven't decided how they're going to schedule yet.
I want
No.
to say Sankey said he didn't want to
Pod it.
Yeah, he wants to just.
He
be-
wants everybody to play everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
he
was
wants
on
it to be
Dustin and
streamlined.
Danny
Yeah.
this morning, and they were questioning him a lot, and it did not sound like a lot of decisions had been made.
No, I don't think that there has been.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a lot of scenarios that have been painted that says, what if this is what it could look like, this is what it could look
Mm-hmm.
like. There's a lot of preparation behind closed doors, but Sankey's a very guarded guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to say anything in public that he's not prepared to back up.
Right.
So I'm sure that there are strategies and there are things on the whiteboard that they have broken down to microscopic levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's nothing that they're ready to go public with.
Right.
Because as soon as he says something in the public, it's going to be wildfire.
Yeah.
It's best case scenario for him to just continue to say, at this point we don't know, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to continue to talk it out, and we're going to come up with the best solution possible, right? But they've got an idea of
Have
how
to.
this thing is going to work, because, they just got bumped a year.
Yeah.
It's now happening a year. Next year at this time, you're gearing up for an athletic calendar that includes Texas and Oklahoma, within the Southeastern Conference. I mean, next year at this time, when we're planning to go to SEC Media Days, you're planning to do it with 16 teams now, and 2 huge brands. I mean, just enormous brands for not only college football, for collegiate sports. Like we said, Oklahoma's got the best softball program in the country. I mean, there's other sports that are going to impact the conference, but obviously this is a football play and this is a huge money grab.
When Tennessee and LSU will play more frequently now, so that'll be cool, I think.
Why then?
I love to see that. I just read that would be a more frequent matchup because of the end of the divisions.
Yeah. Well, do you have to end the divisions? And, I mean, there's things that you have to keep intact. Alabama, Auburn. I think that you got to recreate Texas A&M, Texas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I mean, those are Georgia, Auburn.
Right.
Those are some of the old rivalries, Florida, Tennessee, that you want to preserve maybe, or you just blow the whole thing up.
Yeah.
You just blow the whole thing up, because one thing that this money is going to do is that it's going to split the table of, I want to save the pageantry of college football, and the business minds on the other side saying, F that pageantry. Forget those rivalries. Like, tell Uga to shove it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares about that anymore. Here's an extra $20 million to shut you up. You know what I mean? Like, go play with this.
Yeah.
Go build another facility. Go hire another coach. Go get another player.
Jeez.
Because we're not sticking around here for Alabama and Auburn. We don't care about the Iron Bowl. You know what I mean? If you want to you want to play in the Iron Bowl, get to the playoffs.
Exactly.
I mean, that could be one of the discussions that happen, and I think, that's going to be a polarizing topic for college football fans. I think there's a lot of people out there that want to preserve what's great about college football, and what we have grown up, or what we have believed to be the greatness of college football is, the tradition, the pageantry, the stuff that goes into Saturdays.
Like does Texas and Oklahoma play every year again?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you do?
Right.
What's our thought process? Do we want to preserve that, or do we want to just make as much money as possible? You know what I mean? Like, do we just want to blow this thing up? And I'd imagine that with as much money that is on the line, and the ceiling for what you could probably reach. I mean, in a 16-team playoff, it's very feasible for the SEC to be thinking that you could get 8 teams in there. 8 to 10 teams.
God, that's crazy.
Yep, they could.
I mean, think about it. Think if it was a 16-team playoff this year.
Right.
They would have dominated it. They'd have dominated the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, absolutely, Sankey wants 16. I mean, can we get to 64 is what he's thinking. I mean, he wants an NCAA tournament style type of bracket.
Who would you want to be LSU's permanent 3? If you had to choose.
Permanent 3, I would choose Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas A&M.
Those are good ones.
I mean, like, if we're going off of the...
Getting rid of the Florida series?
I would definitely get rid of the Florida series.
Yeah, tough. I'd keep Florida. I'd keep Florida, Bama, and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That's the 3 I'd want.
I mean, first off, if they're keeping permanent opponents on the schedule, they're looking at the LSU-Alabama game as the cash grab. I mean, like, they showed this year, like, maybe this game's not primetime dead. Like, maybe we can re-kick this thing back up.
Scoot in there, that primetime slot.
That Alabama-Georgia game may not be the only thing that we're looking at. But it just it'll be interesting to see how this thing is handled from a business standpoint, because they have an opportunity to just, I mean, this thing's a Powerball.
I know. I can't
this thing is a lottery ticket, man, that you can cash every single week. I don't know. It's a good question. Who would the permanent opponents be if you had your selection? I guess mine would be, just because that's the tradition of LSU. When I think of LSU's traditional games, I think Ole Miss, Alabama, and
Arkansas?
I just think they try to push this Texas A&M one
Yeah.
so much, and it's a good rivalry.
Yeah.
In the sense of, I mean, like, it feels kind of like your little brother.
It does.
You know what I mean? And they want it so bad.
I know.
They make the Super Bowl out of LSU, and it's just so fun to
I know.
beat them.
I
mean, really.
And Georgia's never played at A&M, so that'll be a cool game. Georgia's never played at A&M. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I am too. I'm excited about the future of college sports.
Yeah.
You know, I really
Yes.
am. I'm excited to see what it's going to build into. You know, I mean, it's always been the minor league of the NFL. It's always been free minor league scouting for the National Football League. It's finally time to just call it what it is. I mean, you're paying them. They have opportunities to make money. I think by the time you put these super conferences together, you'll have an agreement in place between the conference and the players that's just paying all these guys a flat salary. You know, I think it'd be a recruiting tactic. You know, you come to the SEC, everybody gets $35,000 a head. Any team you play on, it doesn't matter what team you play on, you get $35,000 a head, or whatever it may be. And then you got opportunities to make more money on top of that by promoting whatever it is that you want to promote. We did a NIL photo shoot with Trey Morgan and Gavin Guidry earlier this week for a training bat that's coming out and some of the content creating that we're doing. And I mean, I just kind of got to see how the business was done between a business and a student athlete that's, getting NIL money. I mean, they walked in, it was from 2 to 4. They got there at 1:45. They met with the owner of the company. They had representation there. There was paperwork that had to be signed. There was a handing of the check over, and then an expectation drawn out for these guys. This training bat service was paying for Morgan and Guidry to be there for 2 hours. He kind of gave them an agenda of the day of kind of what he expected and was hoping to get out of the shoot. Those guys had a little bit of questions that went back and forth, and it was on the way. You know what I mean? And that was something that Trey Morgan and Gavin Guidry had a chance to make a little bit of above and beyond on, what could be a permanent salary for these guys when there is there's a working agreement between the conference and the athletes, right? Baseball's not going to make as much as football is making, right? But I mean, this LSU baseball team is very marketable.
Yeah.
They got some dudes on this team that Tommy Tanks, Skews, Trey Morgan, Dylan Cruz, potentially the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, they got guys on this team that, you can get behind and spend some money on to promote a product. I thought it was a genius idea by guy's name is David Stelly, and it's trainingbats.net, to put Morgan and Guidry on this, and he had it very well laid out, didn't waste anybody's time, had these guys kind of working on a schedule, made the payment, their representation was there, everything was fine. I mean, it was just,
So they
it was
finally
kind
got
of
it figured out.
That's one example.
Yeah.
And that was a very small
Right. But that's how it needs
sample
to be.
size. Yeah, but I mean, I think that's what it's intended to do.
Right.
That's the intention of it. So I don't know. I'm anxious to see how this thing
Me
evolves
too.
and how it grows, because one thing's for certain, it is.
Well, yeah.
It's
We're here.
getting bigger, and I think that you'll continue to see more teams heading that way. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant. Katie's Restaurant, a neighborhood restaurant for the entire city that you can find down in New Orleans. Katie's is located at 3701 Iberville, right there in the historical Mid-City. And Francesca's, their sister restaurant, is down the street at 1515 Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. So check them out over there, over at Katie's Restaurant. Something for everybody, as we tell you all the time. A great menu, great selection. Their tagline is a neighborhood restaurant for the entire city. And if you have not been in there, that's exactly what it is. You get a feel for New Orleans. There's people from New Orleans in there. Scott Craig does a great job of kind of just bottling that feeling up of the city, and serving cold beer, great food, and friendly service. It is a fantastic spot to check out over in Mid-City down in New Orleans. KatiesInMidCity.com. KatiesInMidCity.com. NFL award show last night. Justin Jefferson, former LSU wide receiver, was named the NFL Offensive Player of the Year at the Honors Award on Thursday night. I thought his speech was great. It was a little emotional, and he let the people there know that he's just getting started, man, that the best is yet to come. He crushed this award. I mean, he ran away with it last night with he got 35 first-place votes to beat out Patrick Mahomes, who finished second, and Mahomes only got 10 first-place votes. Jefferson caught 128 passes last season, which is 7th most in an NFL season ever. He caught for 1,800 yards, just over 1,800 yards, which is the 6th most in league history, and 8 touchdowns. This is all with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback, by the way. I mean, it's not like Jamar where he's got Joe Burrow throwing to him. He also caught a couple of 2-point conversions. He rushed 4 times for 24 yards and a touchdown. I think that was against the Saints. And he also completed both of his pass attempts this season for 34 yards. It was incredible to see the impact that Jefferson had in Kevin O'Connell's offense. By the way, O'Connell, who I know you have a huge crush on, the Minnesota Vikings head coach, last year, wide receiver in his offense, Cooper Kupp, was the offensive player of the year, runaway offensive player of the year. So pretty good recruiting strategy that O'Connell can get some wide receivers to Minnesota and take some pressure off of Jets, because he's going to start to see double and triple teams, I'd imagine, just by the way that he can affect a game. And doing that with a guy like Kirk Cousins throwing the ball. And I'm not meaning to dump on Cousins, but, I mean, he's just a very mediocre quarterback,
right.
And Jefferson's putting up these numbers. I mean, you would think that these numbers would be coming from, some, one of the elites. And Jefferson is he's amazing, man. I still remember Justin Jefferson coming in at what the term at the time was still deemed a gray shirt, was a guy that was someone that LSU was initially very, very high on, but was a bit of a risk early on. I don't want to claim that it was academics, just because it was something that there were some concern about. So he was a guy that signed, but was a gray shirt at the time and was kind of in the program and waiting to become eligible, and finally was right around 18 when Burrow and those guys came in. And I'll never forget Jerry Sullivan.
Actually played in 17 too.
Did he play in 17?
Yeah,
he played right at the end.
He wore like 30. He wore 32 though.
That's right.
So nobody really knew who he was.
He was like covering kicks.
Yeah,
and he was doing. I mean,
real skinny.
Real skinny.
He looked like a walk-on for
but
sure.
Everybody around the program would tell you, like, heads up for Justin Jefferson, and you'd be like, Justin Jefferson, man, is that like Jordan's younger brother, Ricky? Yeah, like the best one of them by far. Like, damn, all right. And I remember Jerry Sullivan, who was the longtime NFL wide receivers coach, and Orgeron caught a lot of heat for bringing Sullivan in, because Sullivan was kind of he was an older guy, a little out of touch, in the sense of he wasn't on social media, he kind of wasn't into what all the hip coaches were kind of doing at the time, right? Old. But Sullivan was and still is a greatly respected football mind. I mean, like, you hear people like Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald and like some of these like big time wide receivers in the league talk about Jerry Sullivan, and they speak of him almost like the holy grail of football. Like, that's when they got their best. That's when they learned how to play wide receiver. In fact, Sullivan was the wide receivers coach in the mid 80s for LSU, when LSU had the SEC Player of the Year, Wendell Davis, and Tommy Hodson and Davis were automatic. Right? I mean, like, they were as automatic of a duo that college football had during their 3-year run together. Guys like Raji McGee was in the program that time, Alvin Lee, Tony Moss. I mean, long-time names within LSU that you remember playing on the outside. Todd Kinchin. Jerry Sullivan was the wide receivers coach during that time at LSU. That's probably when he was young, hip, kind of up to speed with what was going on, but still, as an older football coach, recognized and could see talent immediately. And LSU's wide receiver play really improved in the season that he was here. I mean, like, they became crisp route runners. They caught the football. They really took a sloppy position with a lot of talent and really organized it under Sullivan. I mean, it became very tight with some top-end talent. And I was walking out of a media allotment one time in the indoor facility at LSU and caught Jerry Sullivan walking out of the weight room. And so he and I are kind of walking to the parking lot together and just talking about the season. And he says, no lie, and I'll never forget this. He says, Justin Jefferson is the one that you got to pay attention to. He said, I'm telling you right now that Justin Jefferson is going to be an all-pro in the NFL for a long time. And I was like,
what are you talking about?
Justin Jefferson? like the wide receiver?
You talking about that kid?
Yeah, he's like, I'm telling you, mark my words, Justin Jefferson is going to be a long-time all-pro type player. And I was like, okay, man.
Cool.
And then 2019 hit, and Jefferson and Chase became Jefferson and Chase. And then his rookie year in the league, I mean, it was as if he got better. I mean, from his junior year at LSU until his rookie year, and seemingly from then, he has continued to improve. I mean, Justin Jefferson is the one off of that 2019 team that still amazes me.
Yeah.
Like, he's still the one that I'm like, damn, I still can't believe how good he is. Even in the moment of 2019, like the 3rd and 17, the catches against Bama, you know, I mean, some of the plays that he made through the year, you're still like catching yourself like, damn, he's so good.
Like the Oklahoma game.
I mean, the Oklahoma game.
God.
The move he made in the Georgia game where he's running away from those guys. I mean, just things that he would do, you would still kind of catch yourself in the moment being like, I mean, you got Jamar Chase, you got Terrace Marshall, you got Clyde, but the most consistent one out of all of them is 2.
What round did he go?
First.
I believe he was a 22nd pick. The Saints right before or right after?
Or was it the Eagles right before? Because I think the Eagles picked Jalen Reagor, and like the Vikings like front office was like kind of laughing at him because they were like, did they really pick Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson? And they were like, all right, just go get Justin Jefferson, man. But I think it was like 18 to 22, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mahomes did sweep the votes with MVP.
He did.
Jeez, he got 490 points.
And look, I agree with it.
Deserves.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Jordan and I were watching this ceremony last night. Jay and I watched the original Top Gun.
Wait, David was watching that last night too. It was on TV.
Yes. We were watching the original Top Gun, and then during commercials, we'd flip over to the NFL awards.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
And we were kind of debating because when we flipped over, we hit it perfect timing on the MVP. And Mahomes was named the MVP, and you know we were kind of like because they mentioned the voting discrepancy.
Yeah, it's a huge one.
And we were like, I mean, that makes sense. Who else would you vote for? And I couldn't even come up with. I mean, I know Jalen Hurts was second place.
He was second with 193 points.
And Josh Allen was third. And I guess those would be the names that I would choose if I had to pick somebody. But I mean, like it was never close.
It was a sweep. Burrow was 128 and Jefferson was 55.
I really thought his best performance of the year was against Cincinnati. I mean, for as dynamic as he is, I heard an interview with Andy Reid this morning. He was on with Stu Gatz and them. Stu Gatz had Mike Golick on, and Andy Reid and Mike Golick are super tight because of obviously Andy Reid was the Philadelphia head coach. Golick played for Philly, and Golick was a co-host of maybe the best radio show. At least from a sales standpoint, of all time, from a national sports radio standpoint. And he was on with them yesterday of Super Bowl week. And Stu Gatz asked him about Mahomes, like Andy, you've coached all of them. You've seen all these guys. Is Patrick Mahomes the best of all time? And his answer didn't put him in the class yet. But he did say, like, during the game, he will, like, get on the headset and be like, to young coaches, like, hey, don't ever get used to that. Don't think that you can get yourself out of that play because we just have a freak at quarterback that can run to his left and throw across his body on a laser. Like, that's not supposed to happen. He was like, I've coached Michael Vick. I've coached Donovan McNabb. He was on those San Francisco staffs with like Joe Montana and Steve Young. He had Brett Favre in his prime at Green Bay.
Everybody.
When he got to Kansas City, he got Alex Smith, who was a number 1 overall pick, and he was like, and then I get this kid. He's like, and then I get Patrick Mahomes, and he's like, and he's a baby. He's like, he's still, he's only like, what is he, 27?
Yeah, he still is a baby.
He's 27 years old. And I mean,
can't
Andy
even read
Reid's just like,
defenses.
he's like, look, he's like, I'm not ready yet. He's like, but out of all those guys, he's the different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like all those guys are special. You know what I mean? All those guys. And he was like, I mean, I had Vic in his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Favre in his prime. I had Donovan McNabb in his prime. I mean, like, he's like, and it's just, he does things that you can practice all day. Mm-hmm. You can script the play how you want it. You can get to him and play perfect defense, and he can beat you.
Yeah. I never thought he was going to be that good.
Me either.
Did you watch Dak's Man of the Year speech?
Dak looked sharp last night.
That was a lot. There's a lot of bling going on. He was very shiny last night.
Not necessarily the
outfit.
the ancillary parts. The suit
Yeah,
was a great fit.
it was a great
Girlfriend
fit.
just
Great
broke
fit.
up with him.
It was a great fit.
The LSU swimmer.
I don't know, but I know girlfriend just broke up with him.
Really?
Like
Yeah,
after
the
the
LSU diver.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's single.
Heads up.
I might skip my Galentine's lunch. I thought he
Galentine's
did
lunch
great.
gonna get more boozy.
I was very proud of all of the, the video with all of the Mississippi State shout outs. I thought it was really cool. His speech was the longest speech. I mean, I was looking at him like, oh my God,
Yeah,
did he
wrap this up.
memorize
Like, come on.
this? Like, it went on forever, and it was very sweet. It was very emotional. I mean, I know his story, but it was cool to see it again. The only thing I will say about it is that, and I know he knows who the Walter Payton family is, but in the speech, he thanked the Walters. And I was like,
Oh no.
dang, yeah. And it was after the camera had been on them and he'd already talked
no.
about Walter Payton, and
The
he had acknowledged the
Walters.
family. And then when he moved on from it, he was like, so the Walters. And I was like,
Oh no.
I looked at David and I was like, oh, damn,
Oh,
did he say the
no.
Walters? And he was like, yeah, he did. That was
Dang.
kind of cringy.
That's the only
And
part that'll live on.
I know. That's what I wondered. Like, how many people, I mean, I know somebody caught
I mean,
it actually.
Walter
but-
Payton is royalty.
Yes.
Royalty
Yes.
in the NFL.
Yes.
I mean,
Mississippi
Like he's
royalty.
almost like
His-
the untouchable. in the
absolutely
NFL.
untouchable.
Don't say
I mean,
anything bad about
his
Walter
image,
Mm-hmm.
his name,
Yep.
what he means to the league, what he means to Chicago. I mean, I remember living in Chicago, and it was like I lived there in 2002 in the summer, 2001 in the summer, and it was as if Walter Payton was still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, like it was like he was still in the city. Like just like his image is everywhere. Street names are everywhere. His jersey is everywhere.
Right.
You go into restaurants. There's a thing called the Walter Payton is the the name of the burger.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's royalty.
Sweetness.
And I
Yeah,
mean, his
he's everywhere.
runs, his
Oh
videos,
my God.
his images, the pictures of him.
I
were just
remember
like,
the first time I saw a Walter Payton highlight, and I was like,
I just thought that's what a football player
Yeah.
looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
like,
how you sketch a football player.
Yeah.
and then the
is
way he
what Walter
runs
Payton-
is,
and then the way he used to kill the Saints.
it's like poetry in motion.
Like pull up if you can find Walter Payton in the. I think he returned. No shit. I think he against the Saints. Somebody can back me up on this because I know there's a lot of old Saints fans that are in that listen. I think against the Saints one year in the dome. I know it's in the dome. He runs a kickoff back. He runs for a touchdown. He throws for a touchdown, and he catches a touchdown.
Walter Payton's versatile performance.
Is it versus the Saints?
Bears versus Saints, 1983.
1983. And I mean, like, it's football pornography.
Yeah.
As far as, like, what he just, like, looks like in a uniform in the early 80s. And I'm telling you, Coach,
Oh, geez.
he
Oh.
does everything. Like, I mean, he is...
I mean, I didn't know about the Walter Payton truck until Leonard Fournette, and then I saw it, and I was like,
His
oh
stiff
my
arm.
God.
Like, he had that stiff arm, man.
He's from Columbia, Mississippi, where my family's from. So there's a ton of stuff there around him, too.
He broke the rushing record versus the Saints.
Uh-huh.
That was in Soldier Field.
Mm-hmm.
And his stride is like stupid.
Oh, it's beautiful. Like, I mean, it's almost as if, like, that's how you would sketch somebody to run. Like, that's a video of, like, kind of a running. Is this where he throws it, Coach?
And he can pass.
No. Look at this throw. Wait, can you play that? Can you play that?
I
Can you
mean,
play
there's nothing on it. It's just a video of football.
I mean, the pass is the most impressive part about the day. He drops I think he throws it to Willie Galt.
I mean, he dropped a dot.
He drops a dime.
I follow this Twitter page called Old Time Football.
Me
and
too.
And they just
It's beautiful.
post
It is.
like Mike Ditka. Like I'll literally sit there for 30 minutes,
scroll.
just scrolling, watching old football clips.
He played in the band. His brother played on the team at Columbia, and he didn't want to compete with his brother, and he played in the band. So when his
Walter?
brother graduated, the coach was like, he didn't start playing until his junior year, and the coach was like, you're going to play now. So he started playing, but he only if he could still play in the band.
Look at that old turf on the dome field. Like, that is cement that they're
I
playing
know.
on.
That's scary.
That is like a inch carpet, green carpet on top of
It is.
cement.
It's like mini golf turf.
I mean, like, if you look at the old jerseys, the old tearaways.
God, the pads.
Look at
I
him.
mean, look
at
at
the
those
high
pads.
step, dude.
That's what blows my mind.
That's Ricky Jackson running after him. That's a Hall of Famer.
Like anybody else would have pulled their hamstring right there.
I mean, that was a very athletic move to spike it. Watch this. Watch this throw. Zip!
I mean,
and he can pass.
wild.
What an amazing athlete.
It was cool. Kelly Clarkson was the first woman to host the ceremony, but
Nice.
her dress, y'all.
The Cowboys dress.
Oh God.
Look at that.
I mean, this man's out here like slinging the rock.
Torching the Saints, bro.
Like,
Just torching them.
yeah, I play quarterback too, coach.
Those jerseys though.
Terrible. Like,
Look, that guy called him out at first, and then they just changed it. They just changed it on the field.
no
Look at
replay.
the young Ditka.
No replay.
Guy
Can you
does look
rewind
young.
that? Look at this guy on the field with no helmet. Look how much the league has changed.
Oh my God.
I mean, they were smoking cigarettes on the sideline at this point.
Wow.
That 3-man pull.
Golly.
Look how in sync the linemen are.
Look at that fucking dart.
Man.
I love how the first round. Look, is he in? Oh, he's in.
He's in. That's
Oh,
2
he's
feet,
in.
coach.
Good call.
That's a great call.
Wow, dude. I mean, like, that is some old school footage right there.
Yeah,
So
that
Dak
is.
won the Walter Payton,
He did the Man of the Year
and I
award.
guess that's the most.
It's a pretty
that's the one.
prestigious award.
Mhm,
Yeah.
that's the one.
I mean,
He's
he
still
was-
dating the swimmer too.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Smart
Okay.
man.
Little false info put out there. Watch yourself.
Watch out, Stevie.
Watch yourself. Old WTMZ last night stepped in it.
Yeah.
I mean WBRZ, WTMZ. What's the difference? Somebody got fired.
Dak is a little
She
old
didn't
for
get
her.
fired.
though.
That was a rumor.
Who?
The person that reported that.
Well, she may not have.
What was her
but
name?
some intern
Emily?
caught it.
Emily somebody?
Somebody caught a head.
You think so?
Oh man.
Dak's a little old for her though. She's 20.
Oh yeah.
He's 29.
Go Dak. Go Dak.
Mississippi State fans. Go Dak.
Go Dak. Go
They're on
Dak.
defense actually.
But yeah, Kelly Clarkson's outfit was really weird.
I didn't see it.
Oh,
Hold on, I
you gotta
got you.
pull it up,
I
Stewie.
got
How did you not see it?
I know.
How have you not seen
I
it?
know.
She's clearly a Cowboys fan. It was a Cowboys dress, which I mean, super cool. But you know, Kelly Clarkson
Yeah.
looks a little different than
Yeah,
she used
right.
to.
This
put
is
on
the
a-
American Idol version.
She put on a
it's not-
few.
It's not the American Idol Kelly Clarkson. I mean, that's probably the nicest way to say it. But the outfit, she looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, which is not what you want to be
Put on a few.
No.
in that setting.
She looked uncomfortable, but I mean, it was a very big gown. I can't believe you haven't seen memes on it by now. And it has all the or not all the players, but a lot of the players' names were
Oh no.
across
Yeah.
the front
She
of
had like
the
nameplates
dress.
on the.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it was super custom. Super custom.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I guess she was just, since she's the first woman to host, like, I guess she was like, well, this is my team. Like, you know, I would do that too, but maybe a little more subtle
Katie, I don't know.
than that. I wouldn't wear that, but
This
you know, a
is-
version.
Oh no.
This is
It's a lot.
bad.
Like, people could be under there.
Oh my god.
Like, all three of us could be under there,
I definitely could be under.
and
there
you'd
for
never
sure.
know. It's big, right?
what is holding it out like that so far?
Just like a hoop. I mean, when you have like a big ball skirt like that, there's this slip you put on under it, and there's like a plastic around the bottom that
So she
pushes
basically has
it
a
out.
hula
There's
hoop
layers
on.
of tulle under it. I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot of layers under there.
So she's wearing a hula hoop
She is.
essentially.
But basically, yeah, around the bottom, it is like a hula hoop. Yeah, it's a lot, huh?
That's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's
And
too
then
much.
she went jersey on the top.
Yeah,
Which is
it's super
really
distracting.
weird. And the jersey has the numbers on the arms. It's just a lot.
it's
different.
just too much.
Yeah,
different.
she could have went like just
It's
like
too much. Let's try something else on,
Try
Kel.
something else on.
Yeah, let's just try something else.
good night.
Maybe the next one. What else we got?
No.
Let's go to the next one.
I know.
Try a
A
different
lot of
outfit.
people watching this. It could be a really good branding night for us.
Horrible branding. night
Let's
for
not
us.
let's not give them all something to talk about.
I
Like
mean,
this.
did the Cowboys franchise have to approve that? Was that officially licensed? Was it an officially licensed ball gown? Or were they like,
I wonder what old
"Oh."
Jerry was thinking
I
watching that
know.
as a host.
I would love to hear his
I
comments.
mean, she posted her pictures she posted them on Twitter.
So she's proud of it.
Oh, she's proud of it. Yeah,
She
She's
had,
super
like,
proud of
And
it.
good for her.
Yeah,
Numbers and everything on the back of this thing. Wow.
It's
Who
a
the hell
whole-
are we?
It's a whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
who the hell are we to talk about Kelly Clarkson
Right, man.
and her weight gain?
Do it, Kel. Wear it.
Body
Wear it.
shaming.
Justin Jefferson, NFL Offensive Player of the Year. Mahomes, NFL MVP. We told you Dax, the Man of the Year. Walter Payton, Man of the Year. And Joey Bosa was named, Nick Bosa was named the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year with a league-high 18.5 sacks. You see the neck on Bosa?
Did you see did you see
Like,
Dion?
I mean, like,
You see Dion on the NFL awards? He's like, I'd be remiss if I didn't start recruiting right now. He's like, I got the Manning brothers, I got the Bosa brothers. It's like, if y'all got cousins, brothers, like, send them my way.
good for him, man.
I know, for
For
real.
him. So Joey Bosa was named the NFL Defensive Player of the Year
Nick.
from the Nick. Sorry, bro. Bosa's bros.
Yeah, they look alike.
O'Doyle's. 18.5 sacks for Nick Bosa and the San Francisco 49ers. So that was last night's news. Also last night, I know some things here locally was popping about Brian Kelly and
What?
his personal life. I am not getting involved in that story. I
Please
don't
don't.
know. I don't know whether or not they are what's going on. I just know that that's usually what happens when you step into people's personal business. Whether they're going through that or they're not, it's probably just best to sit on the sideline and just watch it play out. Because, I think for as much as we have become accessible in today's world where, our athletes, the coaches, politicians, people that are public figures are more accessible today because you can access them through social media and you can talk to them and direct message them. And, some of them, can you put their contact on that social media where you can access them. It's still, in my opinion, there's still lines. There's still things that you don't want to cross, you can't cross, and when you do, it usually there's nothing good that comes from it. I mean, like, even if that story was true, and I don't know if it is or it's not, and quite frankly, it's none of my damn business.
That's not. That's
if
the
it
sad
is
thing.
or if it's not. But even if it is true, and they were the first ones to break it, there's still nothing good that comes from it.
No.
There's still well, you got a lot of clicks on a Thursday night. It's not going to pay off down the road for the repercussions of getting involved in somebody's personal life to that degree.
But I don't feel like it was like meant to be gossipy. I mean, honestly, right? I mean, it was just it was facts. I mean, there's a court document filed.
Yeah,
like
but the
you
timing
can't
of
go
it.
around that. So like, unfortunately, you file the documents and somebody's sitting there. Somebody has to physically file that
Yeah.
stuff. So then you get a copy of it, right? I mean, I don't think anybody was starting any
Malicious.
kind of rumors. I just think it's unfortunate. Like, so he's getting a divorce. Big deal. A lot of people get divorces. It's sad. It's unfortunate. It's hard on the family. But, I mean, I feel like everybody just blew it up. And I opened Instagram, like, first thing when I woke up this morning to see, like, okay, what happened with this? And when I did, every outlet I looked at, it was the same thing. I mean, it was just breaking the divorce story. It wasn't any rumors, and it wasn't like this wasn't true. It was just other outlets breaking the story. That was it. It's a very weird way that it went down. I
Maybe
feel
somebody
like.
had a little deadline last night. They saw this. This was low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Got to get this out
Maybe
here.
so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. I think that was probably a great learning lesson for that newsroom.
Yes.
That particular media outlet is the official partner of LSU athletics.
Right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
why,
Like, they are a direct partner, and I have worked for a corporation that was a direct partner to LSU, and I have been on the air as someone who was in business with LSU, and it's different. It's different. There are things that you are expected not to cover or say. And if you do, if you say it, you better make sure you say it with some respect and fragility of there's people behind it.
Well, you better make sure it's true
And
as well.
first things first, you're right. Make sure that it's
It's
all,
true.
It's all stacked up.
I mean, unless somebody fabricated court documents, I mean, they,
You can
they
do
had
that.
their, yeah, you can. You absolutely could fabricate that.
But I don't think these are fabricated.
It's I thought I would wake up to like way more drama about it.
Yeah.
But not really.
Well, I think somebody somewhere went into a little bit of damage control.
Yes.
And whether it was from the outlet side or whether it was from, the other side, I don't know. But somebody reacted and
Like immediately.
There is a message that they want to be told. And, like I said, there's a lot of negatives that come with trying to break that story.
Yeah.
And I think when they are personally responding to the report, kind of gives you the idea of how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Right. Stay out of our business.
Yeah. Like, give him a minute.
We'll coach your football team,
Right.
but that doesn't give you the access to know if we're living
Right.
together or not.
Right.
And,
there's no drama
I know
around
that,
it.
there's a
mean,
fine line. on
Yeah.
that, and I think that for as much as people want to know and feel like they should know, it's none of our business to know.
It's not.
It really
and it's
isn't.
sad that his kids felt like they had to get involved and, make posts about it and defend their family. I hate that for them.
Yeah.
That's a sad thing. I mean, there's no rumors around it. I mean, there's no gossip around it. It was just somebody posted what they saw. It was just unfortunate. I think it was too soon
Yeah,
to do
absolutely.
that. Like, give him a minute. Let
Absolutely.
this settle amongst the family first.
Right. And I would say, someone who has come from a divorce home, somebody that has gone through a divorce with a child
Yep.
involved.
Same.
I would say that shout out to those kids
Yeah.
in the way that they really kind of handled it last night. But there's also going to be some fallout from that because now they've kind of opened themselves up. Their social media now shows,
Yeah.
kind of what's going on with their friends. So there's repercussions from all of this stuff. Obviously his daughter, their daughter, Grace, and their son, Patrick, had to put pictures out last night, kind of showing that everything was fine within the family. Patrick put fake news on his post. Grace put things look fine to me, with an emoji behind it. So I hate that for them.
Yeah, I do too.
More than anybody.
Yeah.
I think Brian Kelly would probably say, look, I understand that my position comes with a lot of public exposure, right? So if my name can be searched and there can be some stuff found on it, it'll hit the public. But he never wants to have his kids involved in that stuff.
And they are
that's the part
grown and
last
out of the
night.
house, so at least
Sure.
they're not like young kids, but
Sure,
still,
but
that's
it's
still
effective.
family.
Absolutely.
That's still tough.
Absolutely. It's still effective for sure. So that's as much as I'm going to stay on it.
I think
To
that's
all
a
of the
good
Kellys,
idea.
I hope everything is in a good place, and that all of that stuff is cool because, like I said, in my experiences in situations like that, the last thing I would ever want is for the public to have any access to something like that.
I know.
When there's kids involved.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Speaking of exposing yourself to the media, did you see what Hugh Freeze put on Twitter yesterday?
No,
No.
Hugh, what are you doing?
What did he do?
The picture of it was like a hoodie like Lane Kiffin has, like with the circle with
Yeah.
the zip in it. Well, his says WAR,
No
but
way.
it looked like WAP.
No.
And Lane quotes it, and he's like,
Lane quote tweeted it?
yes,
Oh my
Lane
God.
quoted it, and he was like, Hugh, I think you should ask somebody what WAP means before you.
Oh my
That's
God,
amazing.
dude! Look at this.
And he opened himself up.
Do
Can
you
you
know what
put it
that
up
stands
there?
for, pal? Might want to ask Cardi
Hugh
B.
Freeze has got to know what it
Might
stands
want
for.
to ask for Cardi B. Tag Cardi B on it.
Of all people, we know Hugh knows.
Hugh, yeah, I mean, he opened
Wow.
himself up.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Poor fella.
Dude,
He
this
can't
is
do anything without
unreal.
people just, oh no.
I mean, it like
How
says.
is that an R though? I don't even see how it, I mean, it does look like.
Hugh looks hungover.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like
Yeah,
first
he
off,
does. He looks
can
high.
we snap another picture You know what I mean? Like, this would be like the same thing I would say to Kelly Clarkson. Like, Kel, let's
try
go to the
something
next,
different. Like,
No, let's go to the next one.
Do something
like,
different.
Hugh, we can't put that one out.
no.
Somebody doctored that, right? Because there's no leg on the R. It literally does say.
I mean, it almost kind of looks as if he put like the timer on the phone,
Yeah.
put it down on the desk,
Yes.
looked down at his phone, posed for it, saw the only picture that it took, and posted it.
I think you're right,
what I
Jordy.
mean? Like, I mean, it is
you're
like-
right.
It is like 3, 2, you know what I mean? Like,
All the time. Like, I don't know how to work my
I
phone.
think
yeah,
you're
right.
right.
Like, look at it, like, perfect. Tweet.
Great picture.
I think it's
War
photo-
Eagle.
I think it's Photoshop for sure, though.
Wop Eagle.
Whop Eagle.
Wop Eagle.
Like, the fact that he really like did that and
I
Lane
know.
quoted it.
Yeah, that's
The
the
Lane
best.
quote is the best.
Lane.
Lane's the best
Do you know what
Twitter
that
move.
means?
I want to ask Cardi B what that means.
So Mark Crumby says the original is out there too. Okay, so there is an original with the R.
Yeah,
I guess. Okay,
yeah,
that's
but-
funny.
but it's still
Whoever
funny
did
that-
Did Lane do it? Lane was
I
probably
think-
the one that
I think Lane might have been
photoshopped
the
They
one
probably
that
got the
photo-
Ole Miss video crew on this.
Yes.
Yo,
Hey,
go to work.
I need you. I need your help. Lane's probably all the time like you up text like 2 a.m. to do the
Yes.
dumbest thing. Like,
You know he is.
Hugh's giving us good content. Get to work.
hurry up, hurry
Go
up.
make him look like a fool.
Yeah.
Oh my
Do you think
gosh.
he runs his own Twitter?
Lane?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if he runs it the entire time, but he has. I would take access away from coaches if I
Yeah.
was
Yes.
the head of their social media. Like Brian Kelly, to me, he never touches his social
No,
media.
for
You
sure.
know, like Brian, smile. We're going to tweet this. You know,
Yeah.
thank you.
Take a
You know
picture
what
with
I mean?
Mason
Like,
Smith and
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah, Saban, like he doesn't even have it.
Yeah. It doesn't.
But I mean, like I would say, like there are only a selected few that you would allow even access
Yeah.
to the credentials to get in.
Yes.
Nick Saban doesn't have a Twitter.
No,
That's
that's a flex.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's not
it is.
doing social media. Yeah, he doesn't need to.
But still, like it's still, you know, like the day and age that we're in.
Yeah.
Just like,
Lane's is just funny.
Yeah, Lane's just Lane. Like then right after that, he tweeted a picture of the Auburn plane.
He's still got to clear it with somebody, though, right? Like, he's still got someone that he's like, okay, I want to tweet this, and that person, just like the president, right?
Yeah.
And that person's
No,
got to
not
be
the
like,
president.
hold on.
This
Not
thing's
the
pretty
president.
private.
No, I'm
you
just
know?
saying it's like the president.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if they
yeah.
wanted to personally tweet, you know, they got to run it by
yeah,
somebody,
for
and that person has to be like,
Head of
hold up.
SID.
Speaking of the
Yeah,
president,
let's vet
what's
this.
going on with them like kissing each other's wives and
Wasn't
stuff?
that weird?
That was very weird.
That was strange.
I think
but
it might
politics
have-
is super weird, bro.
Super weird.
Like,
Politicians
the stuff
are
that they're
weird.
doing behind closed doors, like if it's only that the vice president and the president's significant others are having an affair, like that's like minor league stuff
Right.
in politics.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I worked 1 year at the state capitol.
Uh-huh.
1 year. My first year out of college, I was a lobbyist up at the state capitol. And within the first 2 weeks, I saw shit that I hadn't seen.
It's like I'm
Like,
out.
holy
Can't imagine.
cow, man. Like, wow. And this was 2006.
Well, because they're all up in there together all
No,
the
it's high
time,
school.
day and night.
It's high
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
It is high school. Like, they are all up in each other. The last thing they are doing is working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
they are not doing a lot of work. And I know that there are politicians out there that do it.
Yeah.
But the majority of them give them a bad name.
Right.
I mean, did you
Because
see the
they
dress
are
Katie
just,
came
like,
in with
on
today?
Yeah.
Company
It's like-
credit cards, driving company cars, playing company golf,
Exactly.
getting company massages.
Company, government.
Yeah, right. Like
Company
hanging out
massages.
with other companies' people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it is just a bunch of wasting time. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if Kamala's husband is banging Joe's wife, I get it.
I don't
Like,
think they
mean, like,
are. I mean, I think it was like a
That
cheek
kiss-
kiss that got really
I don't know,
close
Katie.
to
little
the
That was-
corner.
Katie.
You know what I thought was the biggest giveaway from it was their reaction was very natural.
Yeah, it was.
You know what it was
I think
kinda
their
like-
eyes were even closed.
It was kind of like this ain't nothing but
like,
a Wednesday.
like they've
Right.
done that before.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I looked pretty close because I posted it on my story,
Yeah.
like with a funny thing after. But I think it got close to the mouth, and it was like trying to go in like a side cheek, and it got
you just
too
said they
close.
closed their eyes.
They did.
Yeah,
that was
so
the weird
you-
part. They did go
you
in
close
with
your
eyes
eyes and
closed.
then react to that the way they did. They've done that.
Yeah, that
before.
was not the first time.
But why do it at the State of the Union? It's
they're
like in
so
front of the whole
comfortable.
country.
Yeah.
That's
I think that
wild.
the last thing they're thinking is that the cameras are on us.
Yeah. I guess.
Like first, like I wouldn't have been able to pick those people out of a crowd of 3.
Yeah.
Same.
If they walked in, I'd have never known
Really?
that is
Yeah.
the vice president's husband, and I may have been like, "Is that the
your
first
wife?
lady? Is that? It kind of looks like that lady I've seen."
Yeah.
But I'm so checked out of politics because it's just so disgusting.
Yeah.
It is a terrible
I wouldn't have
place.
been able to pick the vice president's husband out of a crowd
Really?
of 2 people. I mean, like it'd have been a 50.
No,
I'd have been
literally.
like,
Oh my
maybe the guy on the
gosh.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, like when I saw him, he definitely didn't fit the mold of what I thought she would marry. I mean,
Yeah. That's
he
funny.
does not look like the guy that attracts
Yeah.
that she's attracted
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
to. But
Hey,
We don't have to
politics.
get into this anymore.
politics.
We can move on from
Crazy
What?
place.
We could move on.
Oh
from
no,
this
I just had
subject
to bring it
probably.
up.
We're
'cause
triggering a bunch of people.
It was just kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
to
crazy.
see that.
It was
Just
really
like
weird.
this.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Politicians are weird though.
They
You know.
are.
I'm trying to
whole-
stay out of politics because
Yeah.
it's just
Oh, I
weird.
don't.
Safest
I-
place to be.
I get balls deep in
Safest
it.
place to be, bro.
If I'm like
Sideline
by
over there.
myself, like my fun time, like I have it on CNN, like in my bed eating a snack.
ew.
Like if David's out of town, that's my like my friends are watching Real Housewives. I'm on the news. I'm on
Katie,
MSNBC.
you watch
I'm
the
watching
news?
Below Deck.
Yeah.
Love it.
Keep your Real Housewives.
Yeah. You
Yeah, I've
keep
never
that.
watched one episode of Real Housewives.
They're
Ever.
good.
Yeah.
But Below Deck's the best Bravo has.
We tried to watch X on the Beach last night.
What is that?
X on the Beach. It's some new show where it's so freaking stupid. Like you go with your person that you're like probably about to marry, like you're in a relationship with, but one of you still has some deal with your ex, like you need closure or whatever, and they don't tell these couples, and then they bring the freaking exes in,
Oh God.
and
That
y'all are
sounds
all
like
living in one villa together.
Incredible
on a
television.
beach.
Yeah. Sounds
It
like 10 out of
was
10
so dumb.
TV.
I
But
mean,
what
we
a
turned
nightmare.
it on, and what a nightmare. I was like, hell no. I would be like, I'm out. As soon as this happened, I'd be like, what? Okay, I'm bye. Like, I'm off of this show.
Okay, so what reality TV show would you go on, Katie?
What would I go on?
Yeah, what reality
I don't
TV show
know.
would you
I
go
can't
on?
think of one reality TV show I would go on.
Is The Real
Because
World still in
why?
production?
I
I
don't think so.
so. But that could be cool. That would
I'd
be
go
a
on The
low-key
Bachelor.
one to go on,
The
right?
Bachelor Stewie. That would be great.
I know.
You would do that?
Yes.
Okay.
But probably end up bad
It's just
for
too
me.
much drama.
Yeah. I'm not
It's
with
so
the drama.
much drama.
I'm a little too real for it, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I'd probably be like, look, I really don't like you.
You would be like that.
like, this is what
You
it
would be
is.
like that.
We don't
I hate
match.
to waste everybody's time here.
But her in the pink over here. Step over here.
Can anybody do
Survivor.
Survivor?
I guess if I had to do one, well, I don't know though, because don't you have to like eat weird stuff and like deal with bugs?
That's Fear Factor.
That's Fear Factor.
I'd
that's
do
right.
Fear Factor.
I would never do that
Why?
because if someone put me somewhere where they're like, you have to have spiders
Okay.
on you,
Yeah,
then
see,
I'd
I'm
be
out. I'm out once the spiders come out.
I'd lose the like $1 million or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
I'd be like, I'm done.
And I'm kind of scared of heights too,
I'm
so
done.
I'd probably be done.
Yeah,
I
for
know.
sure.
I'm shocked everybody by saying CNN. Surprise!
You did kind of shock me with CNN.
I don't only watch CNN. I watch many news outlets.
Sounds like my grandpa.
I know.
All he does is sit in the house and watch the news.
Isn't that funny? There are a lot of older people
Yeah.
that do that.
Oh,
They
that's
just
all
keep the
old
news
people
on
do.
24 hours a
He
day.
takes 30-minute naps also.
Torture, bro. Torture.
Yeah,
to watch
it is.
It really is. Remember our friends over at RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois and our crew over there at RMB, rmb-builders.com. You can hit them on Instagram as well, where they are showing off all of their projects. They got all of the construction that they have going on underway, whether it is within commercial or whether it was in residential. They can help you out. rmb-builders.com. Get in touch with them today. Follow them on Instagram. Like their pictures on Instagram. Check out what they have going on Instagram as they bring you the Jordy Culotta Show every single day. We'll come back with Hour 2. Super Bowl bets. We will look at some Super Bowl prop bets. We will also tell you who we like in the big game coming up Sunday at 5:30. We'll also talk a little bit about LSU South Carolina. Ladies, that will throw it up at 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon as a little bit of a primer for that Super Bowl. Coach Mulkey was talking yesterday, getting prepared for South Carolina. We will talk about that matchup coming up in the second half, in the second hour today. As always, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacey,
Greg Brooks. Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Justin Jefferson last night named NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He's the first since Burt Jones was named that back in the early 70s. LSU's had 3 players named MVP of all time.
Really?
Can you name them?
No.
No chance.
Say what, the NFL?
NFL.
I absolutely cannot.
I mean, I would guess Burt Jones is one.
Burt Jones is one. Burt Jones won it in 1976.
Dang.
And both of the other 2 are before him.
Billy Cannon?
Hell no, I can't name them.
Tommy Casanova.
But some of the all-time names, no.
Damn. Jerry Stovall.
No. Good one though.
Met Jerry Stovall.
Nice dude, bro.
Yeah, great dude.
Really nice.
He thought I was on the football team. I was like,
So they were all before
like
1976.
Hey, son, you a player?
yeah. Like, starts asking me questions about being on the team. I was like,
No, just a tall black guy, coach. Jim Taylor won it in 1962.
God.
And Y.A. Tittle won it in 1963. Back-to-back years, LSU winning the MVP trophies in the early 60s, and then Burt Jones took it home in 76. I got to imagine that Burrow's going to take one home at some point.
Mm-hmm.
What if I could have just spit those out to you, though, when you asked
That'd have
me?
been incredible.
I would have been very surprised.
I know you
I would have been like,
very
marry
surprised.
me, Katie.
Panky?
It would be very surprising.
Anybody guess that? I don't think anybody did. Y.A. Tittle, man. One of the all-time great pictures, Y.A. Tittle.
What's
Have
that?
you ever
What's
seen
it
the
like?
picture of the football player that's kneeling down the field and his head's bleeding?
No.
You ever seen that?
I don't think I
The
have.
New York Polo Grounds is Y.A. Tittle. It's like one of the
Why?
most famous.
What
It
happened?
was just no. I don't think that there's anything that happened behind it. I think it's just kind of like a picture's worth 1,000 words
Yeah.
type thing.
Leather helmets.
I think for a long time this was kind of like a visual of football. Stu, have you found it? Can you bring it up?
Yeah, man.
Of Y.A. Tittle, and I mean that was my first. That was my first introduction to Y.A. Tittle. I before I knew he went to LSU, before I knew that there were streets named after him in Baton Rouge, before I knew how much he meant to LSU's football tradition, that was always kind of what I recognized Y.A. Tittle aligned with, was that picture. He was the New York Giants quarterback, and I believe this is like a famous game, but that's it right there.
Oh, wow. That's terrifying.
His head looks like it's bulging.
It really does.
Leather helmets.
Does he have hair?
No, not in that picture. I mean, that's
Okay.
an old. He
So,
played for a long time.
How old was he there? And like,
He
what
looks like
team
he's
is
40.
this? Yeah, like no, he looks like he's like 80. Are you kidding?
Chill out, Stewie.
I know. Shut up, Stewie. Sorry, we can't all be 20
Hey, look, I'll be 40 one day.
But seriously, like,
Quick,
what
Stewie.
is this
You'll have it
like?
quicker than you think.
What is this picture from? What type of game? Is this a college game? Is
No,
this
it's
No, it's
he's
NFL.
the New York Giants quarterback. That's at the New York Polo Grounds.
Why does he have no hair? Like zero hair up
He just
there at
played a
all.
long time.
Jeez.
old.
That's a frightening picture. I've never seen that in my life.
Oh, he got
Crushed.
crushed. He's just
Look at
Tryna-
those shoulder pads, though, too.
Damn, Larry Huber said he was 33.
In that picture?
oh my god.
That's what he says. I mean, that's just coming from somebody in the chat. I'm just taking their word
Oh
for
my gosh.
I mean, when you wear helmets like this, you expect to get concussions.
Yeah. That's wild, though. Poor fella.
it. Poor fella.
Aged him quick.
Poor fella.
Poor fella. Hey, don't forget.
Don't remember.
Don't forget about our promotion over with Billy Harriman's. 3 locations for Billy Harriman's. Right down here in the Garden District on Perkins Road. Down on Perkins in between Segan and Piku. And then off of North Harrells Ferry, off of Sherwood, in between Sherwood and Airline, is where you can find the 3rd location for Billy Harriman's. 272 Rose is how you can get in touch with them. Very easy. 272-rose.com if you want to click that on your to get to their website. Remember to mention the show. If you mention the Culotta Show, you get a free box of chocolates for with whatever you buy for Valentine's Day. Look, it's coming up on us. It's Tuesday, fellas. So don't get caught slipping. Don't procrastinate up until Tuesday afternoon. You can get this done now. And make sure and tell Billy Harriman's that you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show, or Out of My League with Nick Diaz, and you can get a free box of chocolates for you with anything that you order.
I went yesterday to the Harriman's on North Harrells Ferry.
Okay.
I had to pick up flowers for basketball senior night. Y'all, it is like Valentine's exploded in there.
Oh, I bet.
That place is huge and beautiful. I mean, you don't have to just get flowers if you go in there. Like they had, I had no idea the gift section that they had in there because I've never been in that particular store. It was amazing. So it's a one-stop shop if you want other stuff besides flowers or any type of gifts. I mean, it was amazing in there.
You dropped the show name?
I didn't. We'd already paid for the flowers. Like they were under Episcopal's name. I know. I didn't get. I mean, it weren't Valentine flowers either.
Lord.
I know.
It's
It was
not cool, Katie.
flowers
Doesn't
for
have
the
to be
mothers.
Valentine's Day. Doesn't have to be Valentine's.
No,
flowers.
it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, but our promotion is for Valentine's Day. So.
Sheesh,
Yeah,
Katie.
but you could have dropped the show name. Free
I
box of
had on
chocolate.
a Jordy Culotta show hoodie.
Yeah, but you can't.
Stephen Miller, what's the code again? It's just the Culotta Show or Out of My League.
Speaking of hoodies, I still haven't received my Jordy
ordered
Culotta
it.
show hoodie.
I ordered
coming
it.
in, Stewie.
It takes a couple of
Easy.
weeks. Calm down. Calm down.
Keep knocking on the 40-year-olds and you won't get that.
Exactly. But keep that damn hoodie.
Right.
Well, I've asked her
Get in
4
touch with our
times.
friends over at Billy Harriman's. 272-ROSE. 272-ROSE is the phone number. What is it, 7673?
Yeah.
272-7673-225 area code if you want to hit them online. 272-rose.com. Mention the show, get a free box of chocolates, and that is our friends over at Billy Harriman's. Great promotion over there. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. All right, Super Bowl prop bets. We ready for this?
Yes.
Who do we like in the game, first off? I'm going Philly. I'm taking Philly. I'm taking Philly minus the 1.5 here. And I'm going to take the Eagles to win the game with the points.
It's hard for me because I got 2 of my players on each team, so that's a hard choice, but I'm going with Kansas City.
Okay, going with the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Who you
Are
like,
they?
Stewie?
I don't know if they're the underdog. Are they?
Well, I mean, they're getting a 1.5.
Okay,
I mean, pretty much
okay.
pick them.
Okay.
I got the Eagles. I'm going to go Eagles.
All right.
Too many big plays. It's just Kansas City has a good defense, like the front seven, but the defensive backfield is not what it was probably with Tyrann Mathieu and Sorensen and that crew. So I'm gonna go Eagles.
Okay, all right.
Too much
I don't
Devontae
like to be in the
Smith.
majority. So Katie seems like she's sitting on the good side here. But we will see. Which team will score first, Kansas City or Philadelphia? Minus 110
Kansas
here. You got to
City.
put up 100 to get $100. So pretty much an even bet.
Yeah, I'm out on that one.
Yeah, on that one. Eagles say this is you want to make some money now. These are the opportunities where we can make some big hits. First scoring play, if it's a safety for the Eagles or safety for the Chiefs, you're looking at plus 6,600. So $100 to win 6,000 if the first scoring play is a safety. I mean, this might be worth the play of just putting 100 on both teams.
Yeah, it really might.
How many? I remember the Denver Broncos
Started the game on the
Seattle Seahawks game.
Or was it?
Peyton Manning had the ball snapped over his head and fell on in the end zone, and the game started with a safety.
It was that one, and then was
And
it?
I want to say the year before that.
Yeah, it was
with
the
Brady.
No, it was the Carolina
Denver
game.
game.
Von Miller.
Miller. That's right.
Cam Newton.
So there's some precedent here, man. That's how you can make some big cash. BetMGM has them plus 6,600. Our friends over at Caesar has those bets at plus 5,700. So if you're looking to make some coin on that, there's an opportunity to make a really quick hitter. As far as some of the exotics, over under now, this is in seconds here.
Okay.
124.5 is the seconds for the national anthem. So that's about 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Is that right?
What'd you say?
124 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
120 is.
120 is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
minutes, yeah.
So it's 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
2 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah, we got it.
Over under. National
Over.
anthem.
Over. It's a country singer.
Chris
yeah,
Stapleton.
That's right. It is a
He's gonna
country
go
singer.
long.
So yeah, he will go
He's gonna
long.
hold that. Ain't no wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, he's gonna hold that thing. We got him.
Over. Stewie says over. All right, the halftime show. Rihanna is in the halftime show, obviously coming up on Sunday. Over under 8.5 songs played.
Ooh,
Rihanna hasn't released a song in a while.
she has
Yeah,
it.
but she's got some classics.
She
She
does.
I don't know. Under.
I mean, based off the commercial, I think she'll go. I know she'll go like that one song that's in the commercial for sure. I don't know about 8. I think
Yeah, I know, that's
4.
a lot.
Under?
Yeah, under.
Yeah, I'm under. That's a
So
lot.
I think that we've seen this before where entertainers try to get as many of their songs in as possible, where like Justin Timberlake did this, Michael Jackson did this when he was the halftime show, where you don't play the entire song.
No.
No.
I
Like
give
last
you a
year.
verse.
Yeah.
I give you just a little snippet
Yeah.
of some of your favorites and try to squeeze them all in.
I'm gonna go over. Shit.
So
going over?
You just
Rihanna
talked me
has
into it.
she's got a book of songs
She
that
does.
feels like I could sing more than 9.
Man, that's a lot though.
Hold on, let's see how many songs they performed last year.
Yeah, that's what I was about. They did a lot last year, but they also had 3 different artists, right, or more, last year. So when there
Was
were
last year
multiple-
like 50 Cent in them?
Yes,
Yeah,
last year was awesome, but there were a lot of artists. So I think when you have more artists, then you definitely are having more songs. But when it's one, that's kind of tough, right? Like, did Michael Jackson play more than 8 songs? Like,
that's a
did
good
Britney,
question.
Justin, and Janet?
All right, let's see.
I don't think they did.
3, 4, 5,
I wonder if Rihanna will have a
6,
wardrobe
7,
malfunction.
8, 9, 10. They did 10 songs last year.
But
But
that
was
was
also
3 of them.
Yeah, it was also no, it was 4 or 5. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige,
that's
50
right. I
Cent,
forgot
Kendrick
about Mary
Lamar,
J.
It
and
was just
Eminem.
a salute to L.A.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah,
Okay.
10 songs.
Okay.
All right,
still
so
going
what are we
under.
going?
I'm going under.
I'm going,
Under? You going over, Stewie?
going over.
All right. The Gatorade bath here. We've talked about this one a little bit.
Yeah.
Yellow is the leader on the board at plus 165. Orange following up there on the odds with plus 300. After that is blue at plus 400.
We
Red
did blue. 2 years of blue.
at plus 450. You can make some money on clear at plus 750. And
Clear
then there is
grosses
a
me
bet
out.
on the board for none.
Yeah.
No.
Well, then what the hell would it be?
Well, no Gatorade.
Yeah, no
splash.
Gatorade bath.
Nothing poured at all?
Nothing poured at all.
We're just
Plus
gonna go-
1,200.
Yeah.
Why, though? Why? How could you not pour anything?
I don't know.
And has that ever been done?
It's kind of weird.
I can't imagine that's not on this stage.
Yeah.
Right.
I would think that the Eagles are definitely going to go.
Yeah.
Gatorade
I'm going
bath.
red. Going red for this.
You
But I
go
think I
on
feel red because I feel like the Chiefs are going to win and red would be cute.
On the
I'm
white
going
jersey.
clear.
Ooh. Clear
going-
makes me feel like I want to throw up.
I'm going clear, and it could be water too.
Yeah.
It could be water.
Could be water.
But just clear. I don't like clear flavored things. Things that are flavored but they're
Well,
clear.
the clear
I agree.
Gatorade is
It
cherry.
doesn't make sense to
Tastes
me. Like I
pretty
hate
good.
flavored waters, and it might be because they're clear, but then there's this shocking flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You know how if you drink Dr. Pepper, but you think it's going to be tea, or vice versa, and you take that sip
Just
and
the
you think
surprise.
it's something else, and it's so shocking.
The vodka water sip is
Yes.
something that'll always shock you.
That will shock the
Yeah.
hell out of
That'll
me.
always
Every
kinda hit
time.
you.
It'll get at you quick too.
will.
Shit.
I mean, especially if you go in like thirsty.
Yeah. I'm
You know
like
what I
trying
mean?
to drink
Yes.
There is some water.
Yes.
You know, like
this. He's just like, oh God.
And now I'm drunk.
Yeah.
all right, a couple of individuals here. Jalen Hurts over 10.5 rush attempts.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
You take that over? I think that's an easy one too. I kind of like that one too. Devonta Smith, Louisiana native, over 5.5 receptions.
Cash it.
Like it?
Yep.
Some defensive players here. Hassan Reddick, over 3.5 tackles for the Eagles.
Yes.
I like that one
He'll
too.
probably have 2 sacks.
Yeah. And then more points after halftime. KC at minus 14.5 or Philadelphia at minus 15.
At half, you said at halftime.
More points in the second half. So who scores more than 2 touchdowns
In the
half?
second half.
In the second half.
Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah, KC's a late game team. I don't know about this Devontae Smith receiving. He only had 2 receptions last game.
Yeah, I don't
Loves
know about
A.J.
that
Brown.
either.
It's tough.
He loves A.J. Brown.
Loves Goddard too, tight end.
Here's one for Goddard. This would be a great tight end matchup.
It is.
Speaking of it, Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions.
I mean, that's stealing.
Is it?
Yeah, Mahomes is
I
going
mean, he doesn't get as much volume as he used to. I think it's just when he catches it now, it's just for big
Yeah,
plays.
and like when Mahomes gets in trouble, he's looking for Travis Kelce. He's
No
trying
doubt.
to find 87.
No doubt. Over under 45.5 yards for Dallas Goddard.
Over.
Some of these are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a bunch of weird ones. What
Yeah.
are some more fun ones though?
Like, what are the fun ones? I'm trying to pick out what the fun
Well,
ones
we did
are.
halftime show. We did Gatorade. What else is a weird fun thing?
I mean, you can get into a lot of the individuals and scorings and
Yeah.
I mean, Drake bet like the Kansas City Chiefs to win every quarter.
He did.
Yeah.
Huh.
He put 200,000 on it.
Are
He
you
did
serious?
what?
He put 200,000 on Kansas City
A quarter?
Okay, Drake.
to win every quarter. Yes. He put it up last night. Let's see.
Damn.
Let's see if I can find it.
What's he know?
I mean, Drake's just a degenerate. And
I wonder if he got the script.
I know,
Probably.
right?
He might have gotten the script.
He definitely got
He
it.
got the script.
That's wild.
Okay. No, actually, he bet 700,000.
Oh
A quarter?
My God.
No, he bet 700,000 for the Chiefs to win the game. He bet 50,000 for Patrick Mahomes to be the first touchdown scorer.
Okay.
50,000 on Juju Smith-Schuster to be the first touchdown scorer. Wow. Kansas City will win both halves. He bet 50,000 on that.
50K would do me so good.
Oh my God.
30K.
50K. What I could do with 50K right now.
Yeah.
Blow it in 2 minutes.
I mean,
30K to win the first quarter, or to win each quarter. Super Bowl MVP 25,000 on Travis Kelce. I don't know why I said Travis Mahomes.
He's just spraying the board.
I mean, yeah, he's just
spraying the board.
Tight end to win
50,000 here,
60,000 on
there.
that. Like, but it's all to win.
Drake.
600,000, 325,000.
So what's the total? What's the total betting price for Drake?
Got to add all this up.
Good for Drake.
So 700, 50, 50.
So
50,
850.
30,000, 25,000.
Hang on, Stewie.
Too much math?
850. Then he did what? 30. So now we're at 880. Then 25. We're at 905. We're at 905. All right, keep going.
All right. Then he went
This is
60.
what he's up to.
We're at what?
Then he went 60,000.
So now we're at 965.
And that was it.
So just under $1 million.
Yep.
Good grief.
And talking about a guy who bets $2 million on roulette online.
Does he really?
Yes.
Online?
Yes. He
I mean,
plays.
you got to imagine.
He
how much
streams
he's worth.
himself
I know,
playing.
but still, why are you going to blow it like on that kind of
I
stuff?
mean, it's like Mattress Mac betting $5 million on the Cowboys.
That just
Like,
that's hurtful.
but
That
I mean,
just
he did
hurts.
just win $75 million on the Astros. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like
that's right.
He's just playing
got money
with his
to play
money.
with. I'm just excited for Mahomes. So he will be the first player since Kurt Warner to win the MVP award and the Super Bowl in the same season if they win.
It's
And
tough.
he'd be the 13th quarterback in league history to win multiple Super Bowls. It's a big night for him.
It is.
Would you rather have Patrick Mahomes or the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line?
Oh,
Patrick
God.
Mahomes. He's worth so much more than he could make up for the offensive line being bad.
That's
Almost.
true.
It's kind of like Joe. The line's bad, but I could step out the way and throw this ball 60 yards, or in Pat Mahomes' case, 70.
I agree with you. I think it's such a quarterback league. Anytime you
it
could
is.
ever get a chance to get a guy like Mahomes, I mean, he just.
And he's had 2 weeks to heal that gimpy ankle. I mean, that's probably enough time for him.
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine. I think he'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, you hadn't even really heard about it this week.
You really haven't.
There's really no
talk about it at all.
storylines around whether or not he's even questioned to be okay.
I know.
Like,
But
I mean,
it's been what, 4 weeks since then?
think about a week ago today, or was it 2 weeks ago today?
2
2
weeks
weeks.
ago.
So I guess that is the big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big qualifier here,
Yeah.
is that he's had an extra week
Right.
to get ready for it.
Right. And they're the youngest. He and Jalen are the youngest combined matchup in 51 years.
Wow.
In the Super Bowl. And the
Yeah.
first duo of black quarterbacks to go head to head in the Super Bowl.
I mean,
we know that.
the face is changing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The faces of the league is changing here. I mean, Brady is retiring. Aaron Rodgers is going to contemplate retiring with a 4-day darkness
In
bender.
his dark room.
Did y'all see what I posted? Like our guy at Bayou Carlin Oysters sent me. Someone talking about that had done a darkness retreat before, and he did say if like one sliver of light gets
I saw
in,
that.
Yeah,
It messes up the whole
It
thing.
Yeah.
screws up the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it must be pitch black dark.
has to be.
I mean, if that's what he's saying, I mean, if it
Yes.
cracks a light.
Yes, but how do you get where's the food supply?
I guess you have
how-
to go into another part of the.
Oh my god!
This is gonna be crazy.
Like how many rooms are in the house?
he
like
should,
I
he
need
should
to know that.
document it. He should.
I don't think you can have any devices.
You can't have anything. We'll
Set
just
up
have to know when he gets
Set up some
out.
pizza Z's and we'll get him right.
I know. I want somebody to do like a night vision camera in there.
Yeah.
Just so we can see how amazing
just
would
see
that
Aaron
be
Rodgers.
to live stream the whole thing
You
on
just
night
see Aaron
vision.
Rodgers sitting legs crossed Indian style.
I would
just,
watch it all the time. I would get sucked into it.
I bet he makes noises when he meditates.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, he does.
For sure.
Like,
He probably
he's-
does weird things. He'll probably scream in there and do all kinds of weird
Oh yeah.
stuff.
I mean, you're by yourself for 4 days. I have to imagine even the most sane person that we know would lose it for a little bit.
Do you even know, like, does this mess up, like, your sleep rhythm? Like, when you go in.
I would think your sleep rhythm, like your sense of time.
Yeah.
Your sense of, like, what part of the day is it?
Right.
You know, like, where are we?
Like, sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m.
No doubt.
And I might, like, if I did it in a pitch dark place, and I might be like, okay, I guess it's time to get up.
No doubt. Absolutely.
Like, so what if, like, when your 4 days is up, like, they come get you and you're like dead ass asleep.
Or
like
just
you have
what
no idea.
The transition back into reality.
Yeah, it's got to be an ease into it, right?
I mean, like the
somebody
first 2
has
days,
to.
you got to be kind of be like.
Yeah, like open that food slot, come out there and let the light trickle in through the food slot
you probably
first.
just see all of the.
Just everything.
The activity that we do that's meaningless.
I know.
You know, you're probably like looking at people like. What are you doing that for?
You would. You're right.
You know, like why would that doesn't even.
Makes
matter.
sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Probably
like
very enlightening.
It's that. Well, that's the. I read a little bit about it yesterday because I was like, "What does he do? Like, what is the purpose?" And the purpose of it is supposed to bring you like closer to your sensory.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to like sharpen your senses. Is what the purpose of this exercise is. Like,
but do you have to do 4 days?
I don't know. I don't
like
necessarily know that. I think there's degrees of the sensory overload that you can I mean, I don't know, you know, how to describe it, but just what I read was the purpose of what he is doing this for is to become more in tune and in touch with like his senses, his smell, his touch, his you know, like all of the just kind of very natural things for a human. You know?
I mean, it's pretty cool, I guess.
I guess it is.
It's just really different.
You know, I guess if like that's your I mean, if that's your deal, if that's your vibe, I mean, if that's what you're looking for to find, I mean, it seems like he is on some type of journey.
It does.
You know, like he's looking for something. I mean,
and has been for a while.
Right. I mean, I would totally do the ayahuasca thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would just.
I think it'd be cool. I just feel like I'd be really scared.
Oh,
I would
for
need
sure.
somebody there with me.
Absolutely.
Talking me through
like
it.
that's the thing. Like I would have to be with someone. Like I can't do the 4-day by myself in the dark room.
Right.
Like that just feels too much like.
I know.
Solitary confinement.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost feels like a form of punishment.
It does. But if he comes out and like he knows
MVP,
the secret
bro.
to everything, like then
MVP
I might give it a try.
Hey, that's how you get it.
I mean, like, what if he's the MVP of the league?
You know, Percocets before every game.
Oh man, yeah, I do. I am curious how you get out of it. I need to know how he eases back into light.
I just want to know how he plays every game on a Percocet. Like that's.
Oh, I think that you probably in that league, you can't, man. You can't not
do
have something in your system.
I mean,
to get going.
Pac-Man Jones said he smoked before every game.
And I think that's an outlier. I think smoking weed and playing NFL football is probably the like,
baseline.
Yeah, like there's probably not too many of those guys. I think they're probably the majority of them are doing what he's talking about. They've got to be popping some type of pain pill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because like 4 hours from now, it's gonna feel like I've jumped off the bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's gonna be like a car wreck. I mean, it's
just
gonna
jumped
be
out
as
the
if
car on the highway.
I mean, it's. I'm telling you, man, the scariest thing I have ever seen live is an NFL football game, field level. It's just, it's we have no idea the speed and the collision and the intensity, and to get up and do it again. I mean, it really does sound like a brick wall falling to the floor every play. I mean, the sounds that you make, and this was. Like I stood on a field level NFL surface, like when Ricky Williams was playing for the Saints that long ago.
Oh, that's when the NFL was.
And the NFL was violent. It was violent. The fact that nobody died then, or even like before that, is crazy. Like that Walter
that picture
Payton
you
stuff.
just showed me of the bloody head guy.
Well, I mean, Walter Payton's playing on cement.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some of those collisions are happening in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Literally. Like they're playing in the parking lot.
Right.
It's like the goats run into each other's heads.
Right.
Ricky Williams and the Saints were playing the Carolina Panthers, and Ricky Williams took a toss sweep and got to the outside. Like he got the corner and was running downhill on like a safety who got like curled up and tried to hit him low, and Ricky Williams got lower than him, and I mean, it was as if like a bull was running through like a small deer. I mean, like it was just like, oh my God. It was
This
like
is
Leonard
serious.
Fournette hitting that guy.
Oh,
I mean, like it
God.
was the same type of deal. But I mean, the next play, same thing. Next play, same thing. I mean, it's just, whew, man, that is a brutal, brutal sport.
Yeah.
To think that you could just go in there every Sunday and play it clear-headed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's no way. Like, I'm here for the Percocets.
How many you got for me?
Like, I'm here for the script. I mean, like, just Breeze talking. I read Breeze's book.
Mm-hmm.
The part that we have no idea and really don't care about and don't get invested in and don't, take into account is that the recovery of what Sunday takes. And Breeze was like talking like after like year 12, 13, where it's like you're a lot different than you were in year 5, 6, 7, where your body's just like a piece of rubber. You can just bounce back. I mean, Breeze would talk about like Monday, you don't get out of bed.
Oh.
Like you do not
God, I
get out
can't
of
imagine.
bed. You know what I mean? Like Tuesday is still kind of like a waddle walk. You know what I
Trying to get
mean?
back
Where
into
you're
it.
just like a piece of you've been formed. Like you've just been put together. Wednesday after, and this is all like mountainous amounts of treatment is happening to them. Like
Throughout all this
masseuses in their
time.
house.
Yeah.
People are like, rubbing on them. That people are like just making sure that they're trying to keep their body intact. And they say like by the time Sunday gets around, you're just starting to kind of get back to normal. You know what I mean? Like
Well, that's
you're
why
just.
I don't like Thursday night football. I think that's wrong.
Thursday night football is a crime,
It
and that
is.
is the biggest example of the NFL being the biggest hypocrites in the world.
Yes.
They preach player safety.
Exactly.
They preach that we are concerned about head injuries.
Yeah.
Yet Tua looked dead
Exactly.
on a
his
Thursday night.
fingers
I know. It's
Like,
not right.
He looked like he was dying on an NFL football field on a Thursday night. And there's many examples along the way. Hell, I mean, just the scores of the game
Right.
should indicate like
It should.
they're not ready to play. Like they're not physically ready to play, but the product produces so much money.
That's all
And
it's
it's
what
such
it's about.
a lottery ticket that you got to cash it every Thursday night.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
We need that program.
When they
Shame
get to the players' negotiations between the operating agreement between the NFL's players and owners, the players complain that they don't want to play anymore. But look just what happened in the latest collective bargaining. Would they get out of the players? An extra game. Why'd they get an extra game? Because the owners are saying, there's so much more money, fellas.
I mean, and
Not only are we
is.
going to play another Thursday night game during the week, we're going to give you another Sunday. And the players are like, but we're banged up and we're hurt. And they're like, well, how's an extra $1 billion in the pot? Really?
They got 10 years of that,
like
too.
y'all split it. Like, y'all, here's enough money. Like, y'all just get over it.
That's so sad, though.
You know what I mean? But that's what it is.
But it's not worth your quality of life later on. Like, or maybe it is to some people, that kind of money. I don't think it is. I think it's just sad.
I mean,
it's amazing to me to see some of the guys that come back from injury and still are productive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the guys that are dealing with nagging knee sprain.
I mean, you could look at the Super Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes going to be on a surgery table a week from today.
What's the defensive lineman from the Eagles? Tore his Achilles last year, and he's back. And he's like,
Robert Quinn?
no, not Robert Quinn. Graham. I think it's Graham.
Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Or it's either Brandon Graham or Fletcher Cox. One of them
I don't
tore
think
their.
Cox has a torn Achilles. Or did
No, I think he tore it last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He
probably
came
so.
back
Yeah,
this year, and he's like 10 sacks. Like,
Right.
Exactly.
And he's like 35.
Exactly. I mean, I
it's
tore
like, what
my
are they doing?
Achilles at 33, and by no way am I comparing myself to an NFL football player. But the mental part of like when you would sprint after like you kind of felt right was so fragile. You know what I mean? Like it was so like because you could feel it like stretching. And to think that like you could go out on an NFL football field and rehab that thing and like wonder if I'm going to tear it again. I cannot imagine how physically demanding NFL football is.
Right.
I mean, it really is. Like I told you, like earlier this year, there are points in time where I'm sitting at Jordan's football game, yelling and screaming and wanting him to make plays and wanting the team to win, thinking like, is this right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, is this really what I want my 12-year-old intensely striving to do?
Know.
Even if he is one of the best out there.
It's
You know what
tough.
I mean? Like,
It's
even
a
if
tough
he
call.
does get glory from it, because that's, a lot of that stuff you build confidence from it. You get your
Exactly.
self-esteem from it. You get, a lot of positive stuff from succeeding in sports. But football has become just, it's brutal, bro.
It is.
And at the highest level, if you've never seen it really up close, if you've never had that experience where, look, you can still sit within the first 25 rows and get an idea of it, but just how physically demanding. I mean, read some of these guys' books, read some of, just a lot of the stuff that's out there. It's easy to come by. But the recovery of the body after a Sunday is something that we don't care about. Just because you're expecting Jamar Chase to be there on Sunday and make the play. You know what I mean? Like, I paid my ticket. I'm here on Sunday. I've been to church. I've eaten my lunch. Now go make your plays. I'm here to watch you. Right? You got no idea, like, the 6 previous days. Like, even a guy like Chase, who's still physically, kind of like a piece of rubber that you can, he's still so very versatile. He's still young. He's he hasn't had a lot of injury. He hadn't had a lot of major surgery. His body's still very much intact. Still, to a guy like Chase, who's in tip-top physical shape, a turnaround from Sunday to Sunday for a guy like him is brutal. It's brutal.
God, I can't even
And you think about a
imagine.
guy like who's been in the league for 8, 9, 10, 12 years. What's that like? And then you run into these guys on the speaking circuit when they're 40, 50 years old, and they're, they can't move. I was telling you, we're doing a documentary on Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson played 4 years of college football in the 70s.
Oh, God.
Middle linebacker.
Oh,
he still has his helmet on the bar at Mike Anderson's restaurant. And it is, it's cardboard. It is, it's not, it's like hitting this, it's nothing. Right? And to see the way that he moves around today, I think he turned 74 earlier this week. Happy belated, Big Bella.
Yeah.
But just to see, like, he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp in 1971. And he said when he got off the bus to walk to the practice field, the team doctor said, "You're not going to be able to play." And he was like, "Huh?" He said by the way he was walking, he was 22 years old. He's 22.
Nuts.
They think of yourself at 22.
I know.
I could have stepped in front of a train
Yes.
at
God,
22 and
Yes.
felt like I would have bounced back. And one look at Mike Anderson in 1972, you guys like, you're not going to play. He's like, what do you mean? I was an All-American last year in the SEC. He was like, no,
Yeah, sorry.
let me take some x-rays of you. He's like, bro, your hips and your knees are shot. You can't play at this level. And that's when he packed up, drove back to Baton Rouge, and started a restaurant. He thought he was going to go play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, he was like, after 3 years, really, of playing major college football, I can't even walk.
Right.
Can't even walk.
That's so scary.
So it's the way it is.
It is.
It is.
That's how the game goes.
It is.
Remember our friends over at City Cafe, citycafebr.net. Check out Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, and the crew at City Cafe. Stop in and see them at O'Neill and George O'Neill, where they've been in business for over 100 years. Stop in and see Squeaky and Cody over at City Cafe, citycafebr.net, citycafebr.net. All right, there's today's the day. Today's the day we've been talking about for a long time. The vote is going to happen this morning up at LSU, and obviously this has been a very polarizing topic and vote. And I hate to say that we told you so, but we started talking about this story about 2.5 months ago. It was in the middle of football season. It was actually the Friday before the SEC championship is when we brought this story up. So what was that, the first weekend of December? We brought it up that Friday that you better watch out. Heads up. There's got some stuff coming down the pipe here that's going to be very emotional and very political and very polarizing to the LSU community. And quite frankly, it's done more of that than I imagined that it would. I mean, the stuff on social media, the stuff that is going back and forth on social media between some prominent national broadcasters and even some local people is just, and look, I guess I tried to stay off of the social media yesterday. I got sucked in one time by Tim Brando. And I just gave it right to him, two posts, and then kind of stood out. It was funny to sit back and hear Brando say over and over again, "This is my last time. I am leaving now. This is over." I mean, like, and 2 hours later, Brando just click. I mean, just call it, just letting everybody know what Brando thinks of him. You know, like what everybody sits in Brando's world.
He's like KD on Twitter.
It's just amazing. He is. But Brando being the greatest example of just the melt that this has brought to the LSU community. And, it's sad. And if there is anything that I agree, and Brando was trying to point out yesterday, like he knows Dale Brown and I's relationship. But I do feel really bad for Dale Brown on this. I do. I know, because this is something that Dale Brown has always wanted and was very passionate about. He's had people like Brando and Collis Temple Jr. and Jim Inkster and, people that have taken, taken this crusade and really fought for him. I mean, this is going on 20 years, 25 years. That people have really been pushing this hard to get the Dale Brown court done. Like I told you earlier this week, when it was recognized that protocol was skipped last year in the Dale Brown process, the blood was in the water. The people who needed a reason to pounce on this have pounced on it. But I will say to the Brown crowd, or the people within the program that felt like they got this done fairly, that's the reason why this is all being kicked up again, is because politics has been in play since day one. And I know that Tim Brando and Jim Inkster and Matt Moscona and that crew is saying that it's all politics that's running this thing. And it's true. But the politics has been in play since the earliest of days on this subject in dealing with LSU. And it goes back to the vote that everybody's talking about. How can a 12-3 vote be overturned, right, when it already happened? It already existed. It was already voted upon. The floor has already been debuted. And from what I was told within, and as it's being reported now, and we were saying earlier this week, that process was done incorrectly. And that left a loophole for people that were passionate about either putting Sue Gunner's name on the court or not having Dale Brown's name on the court. And that's just the facts of it. I think it's a very sad story for Brown and his family because of the excitement of what a year ago meant for them to the sudden fall off and, having it reversed a year later. This is a bad day for LSU, in my opinion. There's nothing that's real positive that's going to come away from it. My thoughts of Sue Gunner and Dale Brown are not going to change one bit now that the court is named after them. And to think that we had to go through all of this BS to get to a point where you're just going to put their names on the court and have everybody now living eternally pissed off. It wasn't worth it. It's not worth it. But this morning at 10 a.m., when they open up the Board of Supervisors meeting, there is going to be a ton of intrigue on how this shakes out and what goes on. And hopefully, once it's official, we can move past it. because it's a black eye for our state. It's a black eye for our governor. It's a black eye for the Board of Supervisors. And it's been embarrassing for a lot of people that are around it. And I won't keep myself out of that mix. Maybe I've put my foot in my mouth a couple of times through this process, but along with a lot of other people that would probably like to have some things back. So hopefully today can be the finality of this soap opera that has really dominated the newswire for the last week. And maybe today, once it's finalized and the floor is renamed and there are politics hopefully out of the way, that the LSU community, the LSU fan base, the LSU administrators, the LSU Board of Supervisors, our state politicians can move on from this and also not replicate this in any way for any business that's done down the line at LSU. The first reaction I had when I heard this was that it feels very retro. It feels very old school LSU. It feels very 1980s, 90s of the way that LSU is doing business. And for people like Scott Woodward and Kim Mulkey who have not said a lot on this, I think it's very smart, really, because anybody that opens their mouth and has any type of opinion on this matter is subjected to being caught up in this dramatic soap opera of unneeded drama. So I understand people were asking me yesterday, where's Woodward? He's playing it smart. He's letting them take care of that stuff. He's got an athletic program to run. Why hadn't Kim Mulkey said anything? Well, she did say something yesterday, and it was very small, and for that, it's already been kicked up on social media about what she is and what she isn't. It's not a place where you can win. But I think at some point, all of these figures will have something to say about it. And whatever it is, not everybody's going to agree. It's just the facts. It's just not going to happen where you're going to get a unanimous feeling about the way that this has been handled or about the way that it's going to shake out. So hopefully LSU can find out that business of old shouldn't be done in a new day of LSU, because the repercussions and the cloud that it has kicked up, once you step back away from it and you have this business done, hopefully the majority can look back and say, I don't know if all that was worth it. I don't know if burning those bridges or showing my ass in the way that some people did throughout this process was worth it over the court being named after two coaches that one thing it seems that we all agree on, or at least the majority of us, is that nobody really deserves to have the court named after them. Do they deserve to be recognized? Absolutely. Should we go through all of this? I don't think so. So hopefully this can kind of be the cherry on top and the bow that wraps this thing up and we can all just kind of move on. Because the vote's going to happen today and the votes are in. They're changing the court name. It's a done deal. The votes have been flipped and it's going to be official at some point this morning. So we'll just have to deal with it one way or the other, however you feel about it. But I know that I've said this a couple of times. I mean this today. I'm done with it. There's no more to really say on it. It's going to be a dead issue at lunchtime today because it's going to be over and done with. So hopefully we can carry that to the weekend. Somebody's knocking at the door. All right, we're going to close it out here. Have a great day. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button daily. We're brought to you by Go Chevrolet. Don't forget Mikey Matuk and the crew coming up today for their Friday show. We will have a Will Wade podcast here coming at you in a couple of minutes. We will record it. We'll have it out to you coming up before the weekend. So have a great day. Remember our friends over at Go, Geaux, Chevrolet.com is where you can find them online. We'll be back with you on Monday morning. Compliments of Go.